Hi, my name is Andrew Nelson. I'm an agency development manager here at Google.
And I'm Tim Horn. I'm the co-founder of StubGroup, and we are a premier Google partner agency.
First and foremost, Tim, I wanted to thank you for coming all the way from Texas to our studio here in Mountain View for this filming. We're super excited to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. I think we have a pretty cool topic to talk about today. Very practical approach and a very practical topic for a lot of advertisers.
Yes.
So what we'll be talking about is a lot of the common pain points that advertisers have, ways to diagnose them, and then a couple of the main ones as well. So I wanted to start off with all of your agency experience, client experience. When a client comes to you with an issue, how do you actually go about diagnosing, improving their performance, their returns, et cetera?
Yeah, absolutely. So when advertisers reach out to us, a lot of times they're looking to take advantage of one of our offers, which is a free evaluation of their AdWords accounts and campaigns. And what we do in that evaluation process is we learn about their business, what makes them unique, what sets them apart, what their performance goals are. And then we take that and we do a deep dive into their account. And we look for opportunities to identify areas that they're performing well already, as well as areas where they're kind of missing the mark. And they're either wasting ad spend or they're missing out on a lot of additional profit potential because they don't have things set up the right way, they're not making the right strategic optimizations.
Sure. So it seems like a structured approach in addition to a unique approach depending on the business.
Exactly.
Awesome. Perfect. So diagnosis is huge, figuring out what the issue is and where we can actually improve performance to improve returns. So a couple of the common pain points we were talking about, one of the main ones, and it's really a basic foundational pain point, is correct conversion tracking. Can you talk to me a little bit more about that?
For sure. So comprehensive conversion tracking is the cornerstone for a good approach to AdWords advertising. It's what makes sure that you're taking home at the end of the day the real value that you're achieving from your campaigns and which campaign elements and ads and keywords are responsible for driving that value. Otherwise, you're just shooting in the dark and you don't know how to improve your performance in response to the real data points that are critical to that potential success. So conversion tracking is really where we have to start.
And I know we had talked about a really great client example that you had.
Yes.
So maybe you can run through a real life example of how you were able to ensure that conversion tracking was fully set up in this case.
I'd be happy to. So we had an e-commerce business reach out to us not very long ago. They focus on high-end sporting gear, and they were running into some performance challenges. And so they asked for our help and for an assessment. What were they doing well and where did they need to get better? So we talked to them about their sales process and what their business was and how we could improve that for them, or at least what some strategies were to get them there. One of the areas that we were able to identify among many was that they were not tracking their phone orders back to AdWords. And even though they were an e-commerce company, there were still a lot of phone orders coming in. But because that data wasn't getting back to AdWords, they were making optimizations and improvements that were based on incomplete data and really missing the mark in a lot of important areas, which was leading to a lot of their performance challenges.
So putting that last piece of the puzzle in really helped you guys figure out where the best returns were, which is great to hear.
And we ended up working together with them, and we've been able to really turn around their performance, and that's been one of the important things that we've done.
Awesome. So I wanted to move on to another pain point that we were discussing. Wanted to actually just throw it directly back over to you. I know it's another important one as well.
Yeah, so something else that oftentimes runs in tandem with conversion tracking is strategic ad spend allocation. A lot of times, even in scenarios where an account is tracking conversions correctly, there's an incorrect approach to choosing where to spend money. And that's obviously a really significant issue as well. An example I'll give you is a healthcare provider that has multiple locations around the country. They reached out to us a while back, and they had run into a brick wall in terms of performance. They get plateaued and couldn't get past where they were. So we looked at their campaigns and talked to them, and we realized that instead of leveraging the good conversion data that was in their account, they were employing a strategy of trying to bid as much as possible on the keywords in their account that were most expensive. And I won't go into all the details. There's some logic behind that idea, but it really didn't apply in their situation because the conversion data they did have showed that they were losing money on some of those most expensive keywords, and they were missing out on a lot of potential profitability in the keywords that were not a part of their strategy. And so we were able to identify for that for them and put them in a position to be successful, and they ultimately were able to grow significantly with us, and it was a success story at the end of the day.
Awesome. No, that's really great to hear, and we're glad that we work with premier partners like you guys that can really help us solve these problems for the clients. So just to recap what we talked about today, from the top, so diagnosing the issue is the first thing, figuring out what needs to be improved, and then two other common pain points that are foundational for the account. Second one's a little bit more strategic. So conversion tracking is the foundation, and then how you actually allocate ad spend is the strategy behind that. So Tim, I wanted to thank you very much for being with us today.
My pleasure.
I hope this video is useful for everybody. If you're interested in exploring this in more depth, you do have access to our premier partners. Please feel free to reach out to agencies like StubGroup and start a conversation with them. With that, thank you so much for joining, and have a great day.